Hello friends, it's Kristen, back with another reading from the plants and the flowers, and I thought I would do it while sitting amongst the plants and the flowers here in my garden in Los Angeles. So we can always receive the support of nature anywhere we are, even if it's in a city. I lived in New York City for 10 years, and you could always find a park or someplace really pretty to go, just to connect with a little bit of nature, just to get that calming, grounded, nurturing vibe when we need it, even if it's just passing by on our way to lunch or sitting with our coffee in the morning. It's always there for you. It's even there for you with a simple plant on your desk. The plants are the givers, and they are here to support. We just simply have to ask. So with that, let's just take a deep breath and ask. So, deep breath. Hope you're doing well. I'm picking these cards, which I made myself, and they are made from all the plants and flowers and trees that I have collected that are in my apothecary. So, here we go. What's just the major theme? What do we want to know? What's this conversation about? What's this reflection about? What should we meditate on? What do we need to have an insight about? What do we need to feel validated about? What do we need to feel a little bit more at peace? It's bulbinzana. Bulbinzana is a South American plant. It's the heart. It's very much of a heart plant and a plant of communication of the heart. So maybe what's happening and what you're pondering and how you're feeling is, how can I communicate from the heart? How can I feel comfortable to communicate from the heart? This plant is also very much about protection. So how can you feel like you have the inner boundary system, the inner resource system, to feel safe to communicate from your heart, to speak your truth, to be authentically yourself without feeling a backlash? And perhaps you're giving yourself that backlash before you even communicate it. Maybe there's been a history of communicating and talking your truth and not getting the best response, or a certain feeling of betrayal. And there's a healing here with that. There is a healing that wants to take place in to slowly begin to feel into your own personal safety and guidance system around the community that you're around, and who are the people to begin exploring being completely your authentic self with. And of course, the first person to explore being your authentic self with is yourself, or selves. So maybe it's being honest with yourself about what you really want, and taking a pause and a moment to discover, what do I need to get clear on? What am I compromising on? What am I telling lies to myself about, or making up stories to myself about? And when we can take a moment to breathe and really speak truth to ourselves, it becomes a little bit easier to begin to speak that truth to someone else. And it begins to become easier to feel into who you can be that way with. Because, yeah, there are people that you're not going to share all your deepest stuff with. There are people, maybe they're at work or family members, that it's like, I don't go there, right? And you can accept and know that ahead of time, that there are just certain people that you're not going to share certain things with, and let that be okay. Now, if you need to step out of a situation, or not go to a family function, or don't be in a certain work group, or maybe you need to begin to look for a different job because it's become so nuts that you can't be yourself, that you can't function, and it's depressing. But there can also be a place of, yeah, I know, not with that person. And sometimes it takes a moment to get to know people, especially when we're dating. Can I say this? Can I say this? And it goes to the whole thing about not spewing your whole story on the first date, but can you feel authentically yourself? And I think that you can begin to trust yourself. I say this in a lot of videos, and it's just something that I'm really getting curious about myself, and was a huge part of my own healing process, that when you have boundaries, it creates intimacy, and people that really care about you are interested in your boundaries and are okay with your boundaries, and you're okay with theirs. If you're okay with yours, then they can feel safe to share their boundaries with you. That's depth and that's feeling. And so Bobandana is here to really sort of help you and to be some guidance and to just be a place of connection around that. Yeah, it's really big in the water element. So taking a cleansing shower and just sort of like, it doesn't have to be some big, huge thing, but maybe as you take a shower and you begin to cleanse, it's like, I'm going to try speaking my truth tomorrow. I'm going to speak truth to myself. I'm going to get my journal out and maybe just write. I'm going to just start, marinating on this. Maybe you also need to drink more water. I mean, it's really simple, but it's true. You might just need hydration. And perhaps if you get more hydration, more hydrating foods, fruits, water, natural things that are naturally and very purely are going to be hydrating for you. Maybe it's certain supplements and vitamins that will help with hydration. All right, let's grab a tree. How can we feel more rooted and grounded? What are the trees providing that safety within our root, feeling connected to the earth and the wisdom of the earth, feeling connected to our own sense of grounding that we have. Oops, it's this one. It's cedars, which is receiving. So releasing the blocks, right? So it's releasing what needs to leave mentally, physically. It could be a physical thing. It could be a certain person that needs to leave your life. Maybe you go to a certain yoga class. Maybe you go to a certain kind of community. It could be anything, and it's just served its purpose, or there are some people there or one person there, and you have to let go of this physical thing. Maybe you need to let go of sugar, or okay, maybe not take all of sugar away, but maybe lessen the sugar. I'm saying that because the way we eat, and there's something in this reading that's poking at me about how we are all taking care of ourselves physically, that is affecting the mind and affecting a sense of clarity, and then the more anxiety comes up more easily. This sort of like physically uncomfortable, that's very anxious. And it's like, it's not that you're completely unclear, but the physical anxiety is so unclear that it's like you think it's your mind as well. And it's not. And it simply could be that you just need to move a little bit more, or maybe you just go on a little bit of a detox, only have a glass of wine on Friday and Saturday, or give up the alcohol for a couple of weeks. Or sometimes in order to change a pattern, we do need to stop something or shift it or do the opposite or do something completely different. And then we can really see how something is making us feel. And then from that place, you can make the decision, okay, yeah, I can have that, but I can only have that a little bit. Or, I can have gluten sometimes, but if I have too much of it, it's just going to make me feel completely nuts, or I'm going to be completely in pain. I'm going to check out some flowers and plants. What do we have more on that? So with the calla lily, we have hope. In today's world, it can be very, very easy to look at what's happening around us and to feel this sense of hopelessness. And the question I have is it your hopelessness, or is it hopelessness, a collective hopelessness that's happening globally that's affecting you? Because you're a sensitive person. You don't have to be an empath to be a sensitive person, and maybe you do identify as an empath, but we all have sensitivity. Perhaps your partner is very stressed all the time and you're trying to be upbeat, or you simply can't be upbeat anymore. This goes back to speaking your authentic truth. I care about this person, I care about this job, but this is becoming too much. This is breaking me down. I'm doing all this stuff to create a sense of healing, to create a sense of well-being. I'm trying to be my highest self. There's an element that just is breaking you down a little bit too much, and it needs to be addressed. If this is a person that you really care about and you want to be empathetic and you're worried about maybe they've been sensitive in the past when you've brought this stuff up, you do your very best, but you can't hide how you feel. You can't hide it from yourself, and you can't hide it from anybody else. Let's ask one of the roses what's going on. Okay, red rose fell out. Ecstasy and embodiment. So here we go, to be able to receive. To be able to receive so that we have a sense of peace and calm in the body, so the nervous system is relaxed. What brings you euphoria? Where can you find this place of liberation, of wildness? What makes you feel static, like you want to let go? It could be anything. What brings that up within yourself? How can you allow yourself to really receive this feeling of ecstasy? What do you need to let go of in order to be able to receive that? Maybe there's just stories lodged in your body, right? Because our stress, our anxiety, our traumas, our past, it can get lodged in the body and it can feel like a horrible block. A lot of times it just needs to be acknowledged as well. Kind of goes back to movement. What do you need to do to move it? How can you take care of yourself a little bit better? How can you be giving to yourself? How can you model to the people in your life and to the world how you want to be treated? You model that to you, and they will know and get the picture. I am so happy that you're here. Thank you for joining me. I'm Kristen. I would love it if you would join the community. It would mean so much to me. Please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below what resonated with you. And I will be back with the flowers and the plants very soon. Bye.